Good evening and welcome to our January 13th, 2015 Ogden City Council special meeting. Let the roll call reflect that all council members are present, and I will turn the time now to Vice Chair White for our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please join us now for a moment of silence. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is some recognitions. First is for Dale C. Campbell, and we've asked Councilmember Blair if he would take care of reading that proclamation.
Yes, thank you for this honor. This is a joint resolution of the Ogden City Council and Mayor recognizing Dale C. Campbell for his many years of service and significant contributions to Ogden City. Whereas Dale Clyde Campbell was born in Ogden on June 27, 1947, to J. Clyde and Gladys Williams Parrish Campbell. He grew up in the Ogden area and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and Marketing from Weber State University. Dale remained involved in the university after graduation, serving as president of the WSU Alumni Board and as a member of the Board of Trustees. He also served on the Dean's Advisory Council for the College of Business and Economics and initiated a scholarship program for construction management students. And whereas throughout his life, Dale worked hard to have an impact on the many people around him. He was selfless and generous, continually giving to various charities and donating his time to community efforts. He volunteered in numerous capacities, including serving on many Ogden City, Weber County, and Ogden-Weber Chamber of Commerce boards and committees. He was also involved in the construction of 3 Christmas Village cottages, and he donated two painted horses to Ogden City for Pioneer Days. And whereas Dale worked for more than 42 years in the real estate and construction industry, devoting more than 25 years to R&O construction, he began his career at R&O as an estimator, later became Vice President of Marketing and Business Development, and was promoted in 2004 to President. After 10 years as president of R&O, Dale stepped aside and again took over the marketing and business development function as executive vice president. And whereas Dale's professional accomplishments are remarkable, he was involved in numerous projects that would not have been possible without his help and guidance, including the Business Depot Ogden, Colonial Court Apartments, Lindquist Field Stadium, Ogden Blue, Ogden Public Safety Center, Ogden Public Works Building, Ogden Riverbend, Solomon Center, and at Weber State, the Hearst Center for Lifelong Learning, Public Safety Building, and the Skybox. Whereas Dale will be sorely missed by his family, friends, professional colleagues, and the entire Ogden community. He was generous and caring to those around him and easily made friends. His legacy will continue forward in our community and throughout Utah as the projects he so diligently completed continue to be utilized and enjoyed by tens of thousands of individuals. Now therefore be it resolved that the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell hereby recognize Dale C. Campbell for his countless and outstanding contributions to the Ogden City Council. We are saddened by Dale's passings and offer our sincere condolences to his family, co-workers, and other close associates. His hard work and dedication played a key role in many of the developments that greatly enhance our community. And with that, I will go ahead and make a motion that we adopt Joint Resolution 2015-1.
I second it.
We have a motion by Councilmember Blair, seconded by Councilmember Stevens, to adopt Joint Resolution 2015-1. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay.
And Chair Heyer, we have members of Dale Campbell's family and also representatives from R&O Construction, and we have 2 plaques here that we'd like to give to those. So if we have representatives would come forward. Present these plaques.
We'll have all of your family come up and we'll
Why don't you come
do a
up?
picture together also.
Take a little photo op.
That's here for Dale.
Everybody here for Dale Campbell, come on forward.
I'm going to shake all your hands. Thank you.
And if you want to unbox one of those for the photo, that would be
Yeah, take
great.
one out of the box and hold it in front of you, and then kind of pretend you like one another.
Definitely do that.
Let's see, come on.
Tape box or something.
Don't sit down in your chairs like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Gotta say, that was a life that actually meant a lot to our community. We appreciate you being here, and we're happy to be able to honor him in this way. The next item is a recognition for Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. There are many of you here. I see the who's who out here. We have President White and Luis Lopez, Reverend Stanley Ellington, Adrian Andrews, and I don't know all of your names, but we appreciate you all being here. We've asked Councilmember Garner if he would present this proclamation.
Thank you. And it's an honor to be able to do this recognition today. This is a joint proclamation of the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell declaring January 19th, 2015 as the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service in Ogden City. And whereas Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American pastor, activist, and humanitarian who is best known for his role in the advancement of civil rights using nonviolent civil disobedience, for which he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. Dr. King also focused on issues including poverty and war. He was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Gold Medal. And whereas President Ronald Reagan signed a bill into law in 1983, making the third Monday in January a national holiday to celebrate the birth of Dr. King, following years of lobbying by millions of Americans, Martin Luther King Jr. Day was first observed in 1986. And whereas in 1988, close friends of Dr. King discussed the irony of how so many Americans had fought for a federal holiday honoring Dr. King, and yet in the 2 years since the first national observance, it had become to millions just another day off of work. They knew Dr. King would be disheartened by the disengagement on this day set aside to honor his devotion for social justice. So the King Day of Service was established in Philadelphia. And whereas federal legislation was signed into law by President Bill Clinton in 1994, challenging all Americans to honor Dr. King by devoting the day to citizen action and volunteer service. Several communities, universities, and organizations across the United States have accepted the challenge and participate in the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And whereas the Ogden branch of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, Ogden Weber Community Action Partnership, Marshall White Community Center, and Weber State University have united to sustain the national call to action by honoring Dr. King through a day of service. With volunteers from cities throughout Weber County and Davis County, they strive to retain Dr. King's legacy of service through the Day of Remembrance. Now therefore be it resolved that the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell hereby proclaim January 19th, 2015 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service in Ogden City, and we encourage residents, schools, business, and community groups to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we appreciate the efforts of those in our community to build upon Dr. King's legacy by helping others and encourage all residents to engage in service on this special holiday. And with that, I propose that we adopt this resolution or joint proclamation declaring January 19th, 2015.
Second it.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, seconded by Councilmember Wicks, to adopt this joint proclamation. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, that passes.
So now if we can have someone come up.
This is another photo op. So those of you who are here for this one, come forward and.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Can I give this to you, Marcel?
Thank you.
You get the box?
Squeeze way over.
Lily.
It's Adrian Andrews' birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah, she's here on her birthday.
All right. I'll make a note.
She doesn't want us to sing.
I'm happy to share my photos, so.
Fuck all obstruction.
Sorry, I need to start with you.
Hold on.
We have room for one more. Oh, if you guys can just window a little bit. You're good. Sorry.
She needs a widescreen lens.
Back. One more row, sorry. This is a great group. Perfect. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you very much.
I got squeezed out. But thank you. Yeah, you saw me.
Likewise.
Thanks so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the second time's good. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, don't everybody run off. We do have opportunity for public input on this particular item on the agenda, and it's also, I neglected to mention my good friend Lily Holman is also here, and it has been brought to my attention that Adrian Andrews is here on her birthday. So if you
So I think she should
If there is somebody we'd like to hear public comments,
we would.
And I'm not getting up for comments.
Anybody have anything that they'd like to say? Please come up.
Of course, for everything. This is truly an honor, and as the newly elected, or I would say newly installed Vice President of the Ogden branch of the NAACP, I would just like to say thank you so much for allowing us to be able to have this proclamation, because it truly tells the community how much we need to continue this time of service. A key word that I would like to hang on to is prolonging that time of service. As it was read, you heard that it was always a day off, but it's no longer a day off, it's a day on. And I would like to challenge this council to charge us to continue that work. There may be projects that you all have that you don't necessarily have the resources for, and we would like to bring the volunteers to make it come and happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thank
Adrian.
you so much. I am so delighted to be here tonight because it's my birthday, so that makes it special. But this proclamation says something to me in my heart. It demonstrates a collaboration between the city, the council, the university, and our community partners and organizations that really fight to support the people in this community. Together, we can all achieve more. I couldn't be more happy to see the team that is this community come together to celebrate the Reverend Dr. King today. Thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing that partnership.
Thank you.
I think along with the collaboration that the young lady just mentioned, my name is Stephen Fairclough from the African American Heritage Committee from the Hill Air Force Base. We just had our commemoration today, and obviously this is a wonderful time for us to also partner, or would like to partner with the City of Ogden to say that also we could be used, whatever efforts that you would like or to be partnered with to do whatever it is that you might need, we are able and willing to do that thing also. Thank you very much for this proclamation from the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Betty Sawyer. I'm a past president of the Ogden branch of the NAACP and also former director of the Governor's Office of Black Affairs, where we established the Martin Luther King Human Rights Commission many years ago. So this is indeed a special time for us, an opportunity to play it forward and continue to build on the legacy of Dr. King. And this is a special day. I'm also the education chair Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and it's an important day for us because it's our Founders Day. This past year, we celebrated 100 years as a public service sorority, and that's what we're all about, giving back to the community, building the community up, and playing it forward for our youth. So again, thank you, and we're so proud and honored to be a part of this historic day.
Thank you.
My name is Joseph Nicholas. I am the former president of the Ogden branch NAACP. As of last night, my tenure of office ended. You see this big smile on my face. However, I'm also the first vice president for Reverend Stanley Ellerton. It's indeed a pleasure to be here, to see this cohesiveness, to see this historic moment of recognition for the legacy and life of a great, great American and a great humanitarian and a great individual as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. And maybe in the future, there are things that we can work on together. The recognition that you guys have given us today shows that there is concern, and I think this is the first proclamation that's ever existed, ever happened here in Ogden, Utah. Am I correct? So if it is, it serves as a historic moment. And we appreciate the concern that you guys have given us, and we also appreciate the proclamation. It would be held in a special place. I think this is the only one we have. And again, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? This has been a great recognition. We appreciate you being here. We thank you for coming. The next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. The minutes of the work session of December 9th, 2014. Councilmember Blair?
Yes, thank you, Chair Heyer. I have reviewed those minutes and found them to be accurate.
And the minutes of the special meeting of December 9th, 2014. Councilmember Garner.
Yes, Chair Heyer, I've reviewed those minutes and found them to be correct, and I'll make a motion that we adopt these minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner, seconded by Councilmember Blair to approve the minutes. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item is our common consent portion of our agenda. One item, water conservation plan.
I will go ahead and make a motion that we adopt item A under common consent, proposed resolution 2015-2, adopting the 2014 water conservation plan as required by state code and setting the public hearing for January 27th, 2015.
Second.
We've got a motion by Councilmember Blair, seconded by Councilmember Stevens. I think that's who I heard. Is that right?
Garner.
Was Garner? Okay, I knew somebody down there. Okay, and this is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is the reports from administration, elected official salaries, and who will be, yes.
Chair Heyer, members of the council, this ordinance before you is a joint ordinance between the administration and the council. And we are basically, this is not authorizing any increases for the mayor or the council, but it puts back into place a system that we had prior to fiscal year 2011, where the council and the mayor salaries are tied to any adjustments that will be made to special employees during the budget cycle. And so if there's any raises for non-merit special employees during the budget cycle, the elected official salaries would be increased by that amount as well. And in addition, it authorizes benchmarking increases. Those may be done through the budget process on an annual basis as needed. And it is my understanding that the mayor's salary presently for Ogden is at the average of the benchmarking for comparable council mayor forms of government in Utah, and the city council salaries are below the total compensation benchmarking. So over time, those could be increased to be adjusted as desired through the budget process. You have the information in your packet, and you can see there's some tables that show the comparisons of where the council and the mayor's salaries are. And you can see the changes that we're suggesting to be made will not take effect until the next fiscal year budget cycle, but the ordinance, if passed today, will be effective immediately. But you can see for both, in both the provision for the mayor compensation and for the city council compensation, we've added back in language that was removed in 2010, again, to tie that to the percentages approved for non-merit special employees, and then added in language for both that they may be adjusted through the annual budget process as necessary for total compensation benchmarking. For the council, there's also a continuing provision for a pay differential for the chair, which is a $2,000 pay differential from the base salary for regular council members, and a $1,000 pay differential for the vice chair. And that has been provided for a number of years. That's nothing new. It's just stated in the ordinance. There's also an intent that the numbers, as they increase during the budget process, will be reflected in the pay plan that you see with the budget. So those numbers will come out when the tentative budget is presented on May 1st. Does anybody have any specific questions about the ordinance?
Any questions for Mrs. Brown? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Public input.
All right.
I go ahead
No,
and...
public. We need
do
public
have,
input.
yeah, we do have
Sorry.
some public input. We would like to accept public input on this item. If you have information for us, if you'd come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing no movement, there you go.
With that, I propose that we adopt ordinance 2015-1, amending the Ogden Municipal Code 2-2-3 and 2-3-6 to authorize annual adjustments to salaries of the mayor and city council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair White, seconded by Councilmember Blair, to adopt ordinance 2015-1. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Blair,
Aye.
Councilmember Garner,
Aye.
Councilmember Gochner,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember Wicks,
Aye.
Vice Chair White,
Aye.
Chair Heyer.
Aye. That passes. And the next item on our agenda is public comments. This is an opportunity to address the council regarding your concerns or ideas. Please state your name and address clearly for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Any takers? Seeing no movement, I'd like to hear comments from our mayor.
I do have a couple of quick things. I think that appreciate you guys taking a look at that. I think it's important to say that the salary question, in looking at that, you guys are all very underfunded, and we're all public servants. I think these increases will be the exact same for the employees that are public servants and for you all that are public servants in this capacity as well. And I think it took some courage to look at that, and I think it encourages good people to run, and I think it was a healthy dialogue to have, and I appreciate you guys doing that. I also want to call out one thing that happened today and thank a few different people. I think our public safety employees, our men and women in blue, really do some unique things, and every day they show up, it's a little bit heroic. But we had an event this morning where a car was stolen with a 3-year-old boy in the back seat. And in reading through how that team came together and addressed that to get that 3-year-old boy back with his family, I think it was an absolutely amazing effort. And I publicly wanted to call out a couple of people. Lieutenant Tim Scott, Sergeant Kowalski, Officer Mark Smith, Officer Andrew Howard, Officer Bryce Cantwell, Officer Thomas Cagle, and Officer Justin Richens all collectively addressed that, immediately found a solution for it. It was a really, really unique story with a very, very positive ending, and we can't thank them enough for how they come together and how they protect our public. You guys do a phenomenal job, and we really appreciate that. It is an amazing story. Brought me to tears to read it, to see that family get back together, get united and everything. It was really unique, and I think that they all deserve some public praise in this kind of a forum. So I want to certainly call them out and thank them for what they bring to the job every single day that they're here. So thank you, and thank them.
You know, just in addition to that, that 3-year-old boy was pretty remarkable in this situation too. Following the instructions exactly, and he helped his own rescue. So that was pretty remarkable.
You pray for an outcome like that. I completely agree.
And the moral of the story is don't leave your car idling.
Anywhere, anytime,
Anywhere, at any time.
Other council members, any comments?
I would like to say that I just think that it's great that we honored Dr. King today in the Day of Service, and I think that we don't have to have a formal setting to volunteer or do our service. You know, it could be shoveling walks or helping our neighbors, and I think we should just remember that there's things that we can do that doesn't have to follow a formal volunteering effort. So.
And I do echo what Vice Chair White has indicated, and it's nice to see the unity of the community, but also we'll miss Dale Campbell. He did a lot for our city, and I appreciate all that he was contributing to the success of and the quality of life that we have here in our community.
Thank you. Any others? Okay, seeing no more comments, look for motion to adjourn.
Motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion by Councilmember Garner, seconded by Councilmember Wicks to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Just as a reminder, the City Council will have a work session immediately following this meeting in the workroom, and the reason for the meeting is on the agenda.